What's going on, guys? Today I have something a little bit different from you. I know I say that a lot lately, but it's true. I do. It's something a little bit different. I don't do a whole lot of smartphone reviews on this channel, and mostly it's because, well, they're kind of expensive. I did do a review, this is well over a year ago now, for the BlackBerry Key 2 LE. I'll throw that link up here if you want to go check that out. Otherwise, so I do have a smartphone today, and the kind folks at Infinix reached out to me and said, hey, we got a couple new smartphones coming out. Do you want to review them? I said, hell yes, I do. Send them over. So I have the Infinix Note 10 Pro. This one, it really intrigued me. Now, I really wasn't expecting them to send this one out. I was expecting them to send out a different one. But the reason why this intrigued me is because the spec sheet and the price. Running over the specs really quick here, is for the price, it's kind of insane. 90 hertz, almost a 7-inch full HD screen, full HD plus. MediaTek Helio G95 processor, 33 watt fast charge with a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, 256 gigs of storage with 8 gigs of memory. So that is insane, just reading off the spec list. Processor aside, kind of. Just reading off that spec list, and I didn't even mention it has a 64 megapixel camera on here, so reading that off, kind of insane, especially when you look at it and the price is $260. Now, there is one thing that I absolutely hate about this smartphone, and I'll get to it in a minute, but I pulled the phone out of the box, and they sent me it's some sort of purple plum version. I'm not even too sure what the name of this color is, but it's exclusive to the 10 Pro, the Note 10 Pro. They have a Note 10, which has a little bit lesser specs, and it's a little bit less expensive, I guess you could say. I mean, $250 for a smartphone isn't really all that expensive, but kind of try and let you see the color here. It's like almost like a lavender light purple type color. I really like the color. I do. The only thing that I don't like is, yeah, this back is plastic. You could probably figure that out by the price. But the only thing I really don't like about this is I thought, if I could get this in my light here. Yeah, okay, you see this? I thought this part up here was going to be that glossy plastic, and then I thought this part down here was going to be a frosted type material, and it's not, and that's kind of disappointing for me. I like the frosted back phones, kind of like the S20 FE, how Google did the Pixel 3, and I think the rest of the Pixel lineup from there on out. I really like how they do the frosted backs. I'm not so much a fan of the glossy. I don't really care for it, and mostly because it's insane with the fingerprints. But we could take a trip around the phone really quick if you want. There's your camera array. It is a quad camera setup, and then there's a depth sensor up there. And then around top is absolutely nothing. Around this side, you have your SIM card slot. This is dual SIM, and it has a micro SD card in there. The rest is bare. On the bottom here, there you go. There you go. On the bottom here, you have your USB-C port, your headphone jack, love that, and then you got a speaker grill. On this side, you have your volume rocker up here, and then this is your power button, which also doubles as a fingerprint sensor. We'll kind of get into all that here in a second. First thoughts holding the phone, it feels like a solid device, and I mean, you see, look at the freaking fingerprints. Look at that. And it's just, I cleaned it right before I showed you guys. Anyways, it's a solid device. One thing that I absolutely love about this thing is the fingerprint sensor is almost freaking immediate. I mean, you look at that, and it is a fast fingerprint sensor. The one thing I don't like about that, though, is in theory, I absolutely love the fingerprint sensors that are in the power button on the side here. I absolutely love them in theory. In practice, the 2 times I've actually used it on this phone and another one, I can't quite remember what it was, but the 2 times that I've actually used it, I very consistently swipe this thing with the non-fingerprint sensor finger. So I get a lot of false positives, so it's always vibrating when I go to put it in my pocket or just random stuff like that, and it's a minor annoyance. I don't like it. I would much rather have I would much rather have a physical fingerprint sensor on the back here. The display is incredibly, and I don't know how well, ooh, I almost dropped it. I don't know how well that's coming up on camera here, but the display is incredibly saturated. I mean, at times it's almost too saturated. Now, when you're watching videos and streaming media, things like that, it's not too bad, but there are certain times where like, man, I just wish it would dial back just a little bit. Another thing that kind of irks me about this device is the way the UI is set up. And so you have here, and you can set it to scroll down to get your notifications, scroll up to go to your apps, but you know, when you go to scroll down, it takes you to this screen here. And I tried for I don't know how long to get this screen to go away when I swipe down, just to go back to the home screen, and it just won't happen. You actually have to hit your home button for it to take you back to the home screen. I don't like that. Another thing is you have to long press and then go to the menu option right here in this corner, and that'll bring you up a whole list of other features, settings that you can do, and that's where I had to go to set up the swipe down for I can't do it. There you go. Swipe down for the notification shade. I don't like that there's an additional place to go do settings where all your settings should be in the settings place. Does that make sense? I don't like that. I don't want to have to. I hate having to go and hunt down whatever the hell feature that I'm looking for in 17 different sets of settings. I don't want to do that. I want it to be fairly obvious, fairly painless. That way I can set it up almost immediately. So minor UI quirks aside, because I'm sure that, and I haven't done it on here because I wanted to get the actual phone experience, but I'm sure you can download some sort of like Nova Launcher or Launcher or whatever launcher of choice that you use and get it configured how you want it configured. So that isn't a huge deal, but if you want to keep it stock the way it came, then that's the way you're gonna have to do things. One other thing that I do absolutely love about this phone is it has stereo speakers, technically. So you get sound coming out of here and then out of, it's over here. And then you get sound coming out of here when you're watching video, YouTube, Netflix, that sort of thing. And they actually sound decent. They're not fantastic, but they're decent. For phone speakers, they're actually decent. The camera in the daytime is amazing. I took a picture of my daughter with the portrait mode on, perfect lighting outside. It was amazing. And I want to say I used the 64 megapixel camera to do it, but it came out incredibly good. Now, you do have to kind of tame what you're thinking as far as camera quality goes, just because, you know, it is a $250 device. So just kind of keep that in mind, but with the correct lighting conditions, you can get some amazing pictures. Really, really, really good. Like, better than I was expecting. Not pixel quality, but definitely a lot better than I was expecting for the price tag. So one of the biggest features, one of the biggest marketing features at least for this particular device is the gaming performance. And I don't play a whole lot of mobile games. I think I downloaded Call of Duty about a week ago. So I don't really do the mobile gaming too much. I absolutely love playing Asphalt 9. That actually kind of leads me into what I absolutely hate about this device. And so when you go to set up this device, if you're in the US, there is not a US option in the setups for countries. It's pretty much all Middle Eastern countries, anything that's not US basically, is an option to set this phone up on, which is fine. That's not really a big deal. It got my time zone, it got all that, so it's not too big a deal. The one thing I ran into though, before I even put my SIM card in, was I was not able to download Asphalt 9. I was able to download Asphalt 8, but not 9. I didn't know why that was. I threw my SIM card in there, and it registered T-Mobile, and I wasn't paying attention, still on Wi-Fi, and I was able to download Asphalt 9. So I downloaded it, played absolutely fantastic. When I went to go take it off of Wi-Fi, I didn't bother checking what bands this phone actually uses. And that was my fault, not anybody else's, but this is what I hate about this phone, and I'll tell you why I hate it. This phone does not include any bands here in the US, so it doesn't matter that it is unlocked, it doesn't matter what carrier you have or what have you, it will not work in the US. And that is what I hate about this phone. The reason why I hate it is because I absolutely love this phone. It's crazy to say it's a $250 phone, $250 device, and I hate it because I can't use it every day. That is why I hate this phone. I didn't experience any kind of lag, anything when I was doing anything on this phone. Gaming, streaming video, listening to music, anything I could throw at it, it handled, except for my mobile carrier, which was a huge bummer to me because I really wanted to use this phone. And to be completely honest with you, I believe as long as the other things are good, you know, call quality, signal, that sort of thing, as long as those things were good, this would probably be my daily driver. The reason why I don't like this phone is simply because I can't use this phone. That is literally the only reason. I wish I had a better reason to give you for not recommending this phone. So that actually comes with a caveat, and I'll wrap this video up, it's getting kind of long. So that comes with a caveat. If you're in the US, don't get this phone. You can't use it anyways, so just don't get it. If you live somewhere where this phone is supported, and I'll include the link for their site in the description down here. If you live somewhere where this phone, the Note 10 Pro, is supported, I would 100% suggest you go out and buy it. It's a great phone. From what I was able to test. Now, just kind of round out this review here. You do get a TPU case in the box, and I don't have it here with me, but they also give you a glass screen protector, which was kind of nice. Which is funny because, you know, you spend less on a phone and you end up getting more. I don't get it. I mean, I came with a charger in the box. Believe that or not. So anyways, I'll wrap this up. If you guys have any questions on this smartphone or anything like that, don't hesitate to leave them in the comment section. I do my best to answer those. If you like what I do here, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the share button. It helps hugely. You have no idea how much it helps. But if you made it to the end, thank you, and I will see you guys in the next video. Later.